Hello and welcome to Almost Solitaire and another game of Commands and Colors Ancients. This time we have now moved on to the Roman Civil Wars, Caesar's Civil Wars, and the first battle featured from these wars is called Ilerda 49 BC, which we're gonna play today. And well, we are actually in Hispania now, and well, the story. I mean, probably you know that. I mean, the famous story with when Caesar said that the dice has been thrown and all that, right? So he has crossed the Rubicon and all that. He has already, when we come to this, he has already been driving out Pompeius Magnus out from Italy, as it says here, right? And the Optimates. So we have fast forwarded a bit in the initial events of the Civil War here. So before these battles, Caesar was in southern France, or actually outside of Massilia. Massilia was a great city, and it was in a state of rebellion at this time. So Caesar was actually besieging it at this point. But his aim was, though, to go to Hispania to meet the Pompeian forces there, led by Afranius and Petreius that we see here. There's also another army here in Hispania, led by Varro, who's also on the Pompeian side, but not featured in this battle. So Caesar was in outside of Massalia, but he had to go to Hispania. This battle took place in the summer, so he was in the middle of maybe more in the start of the campaign season, really. I think this was in June, so he would have been during the springtime in Massalia, I guess. So to prepare for his arrival to Hispania and Ilerda. By the way, this is Ilerda is in the northeastern parts of Spain, or Hispania, pretty close to today's Barcelona, but a bit inland, not along the coast here. So to prepare for Caesar's arrival there, he sent Fabius, a leader that we will see in this battle, in front of him to secure the passes over the Pyrenees, so that the main army could march in there. I think he went on with, there was a couple of legions. I think it was 3, if I remember correctly. So Fabius managed to do that. He took control of the passes and continued southwards as Afranius and Petreius was retreating. Now Afranius and Petreius retreated along the river Sicoris, which is featured in this battle, and towards the town of Ilerda. The reason for this was that, Sicoris was a kind of a big river, so you couldn't really cross it that easily. And close to the town of Ilerda, there was a stone bridge, which was super important for transportation and supply and all that. So that's why Afranius selected this place as a defensive position. He could easily go over the river and get supplies from the eastern side of the river and all that. Now Fabius, when he followed south, he was eventually on the wrong side of the river. I believe, I think it was, if I remember correctly, he was on the eastern side when he arrived down here. So that was a problem for him, because he hadn't and couldn't get control over that bridge. I mean, his forces were not strong enough to contest it, I believe, in the beginning, because if I'm not wrong, these guys had 5 legions along with them. I mean Afranius, the Pompeian forces here. So what Fabius had to do in order to get to the other side of the river was to start constructing his own wooden bridges. He did that. Actually, he managed to build 2 bridges. So he had kind of an upper and lower bridge. So he had that as his way to bring forces back and forth and to supply on the other side of the river and all that. At one point before this battle, just as a side note, there was some action scene for this battle, if you can call this a battle really. But one of the bridges collapsed, of the wooden bridges that Fabius built. So some of his troops got isolated. I think it was two of his legions got isolated. Afranius saw that, and he took his forces. I think maybe it was 4 legions. He took it over that river through the stone bridge he had, and did attack. And it was a critical situation there for the Caesarian troops. So the 2 legions retreated up to a hill and took up a defensive position there, and was heavily pressed. But Fabius had to take another route through that other bridge. I don't remember if it was the upper or lower bridge, but I think it was a bridge that was closer to Ilerda that collapsed, if I remember correctly. Anyway, Fabius took his reinforcements over that bridge and managed to relieve the situation. I think also that Fabius got reinforcements before Caesar arrived, so he had maybe it was actually 3 more legions. He had a total of 6. I'm not really sure, maybe not that much really actually, but anyway, he managed to settle the situation. So Afranius and his guys was forced to move back and abandon the attack on those isolated forces. Well, eventually Caesar arrived with more reinforcements to his side, and he decided to set up a camp really close to Afranius' camp and Petreius' camp here. So not many kilometers, I think, between them. So really up close. Well, before this, in front of Ilerda, there was this huge plain. And Caesar started to build a fortified camp here. The Pompeian forces actually offered battle at one point. Caesar refused, but he kept his line up and was kind of ready for battle. And at the same time, they were hastily building this fortified camp in the background, so if they would be attacked, they could retreat in here if needed. But there was no attack done by Afranius as it said, so they were still eyeing each other. Now, in the center of this plain that the both armies were camping upon, there was this hillock represented by these 3 hill hexes here. Caesar, of course, saw that, okay, if I could get control of that and fortify it, the Pompeian position here would be, well, they couldn't really hold on, and they couldn't really control Ilerda anymore. It would be too dangerous. So Caesar thought if he can control that, he could force the Pompeians out of this area. So at one point, Caesar ordered an advance against that hillock. Of course, Afranius and Petreius knew of this situation as well. So when they saw the Caesarian troops, I think it was led by the 9th Legion, marching towards the hillock, they, who had probably a bit of a lesser distance to this hillock, at least the map says so in this battle, in this scenario, they managed to get hold of it first, and that was a problem, of course, for the Caesarian troops, because when they reached the hill, they had to fight kind of upslope, and they got showered by missiles, as it said also here in the text. So they were in a harsh position, taking a lot of casualties. I think there was actually one, a first centurion who died here. So critical situation for the Caesarian troops. And Caesar at this point, according to this text, ordered forward his cavalry to relieve the situation. And they managed to do that. They managed to push back the Pompeian troops a bit, and in that way they could pull back the legions up front that were taking heavy fire from the hill. So the Caesarian troops moved back and kind of left this hillock to the Pompeians. And at that point, really much the hostilities died out. So it was really not, as I understand it, a real pitched battle when both sides, battled in earnest, but more of an attempt by Caesar to take the hillock. When it doesn't, or when it didn't succeed, he just gave up, and they were continuing eyeing each other. Now, so the situation here then continued with both sides camping towards each other. At this point, the river Sicoris also started to swell due to spring floods and all that. So, and that was a problem for the Caesarian side. They got struck by diseases, and they had problems, traversing the river and getting supplies from the other side and all that. So they were in a harsh position. But eventually, they managed to cope with it, and they managed also to, I'm not sure what they did, but they did manipulate the river a bit, so they could again pretty much start to threaten Ilerda, probably the bridge here, and the Pompeian positions here. So for some reason, because of that, Afranius and Petreius took the decision to retreat from here. They just thought that this position was not, they were not able to hold it anymore. So they started to retreat, and Caesar followed, actually. There were no battles done. There were some, I think there was some skirmishing happening all the time, because he clashed with the rear guard here and all that, but there was a lot of maneuvering happening after this battle. I mean, in the months, we're talking about months after this battle. And Caesar managed at one point to get around the Afranius and Petreius. The goal of Afranius and Petreius with this retreat was also to join up with Varro's other army. I think he had like 2 legions or something there. So they could get 2 fresh legions into their forces, so they could more evenly match these guys. By the way, talking about numbers, I think there were some 30,000 on both sides, maybe a bit more on the Caesarian in the end. Anyway, so Caesar managed to get behind these guys, so they couldn't retreat southwards towards Varro's army. So they had actually, they had to retrace the steps back to Ilerda again. So they arrived here again, close to where they were, and to make probably a long story short, Caesar managed to surround them, and eventually they gave up. And I think it was 5 legions who gave up here, and that was a huge blow, of course, for the forces of Pompeius in Hispania. It was a lost cause then. And as a side note, also Varro's 2 legions gave up eventually to Caesar. So by that, he had taken control of the whole province of Hispania at that point. So that's the short story about this battle, which, well, of course it is a battle, but not maybe as we used to think about an ancient battle with big lines clashing. I mean, there was not decisive blow by anybody here taking a big victory, but it just ended in a stalemate pretty much. So by that, let's check out the War Council. So we have the Pompeian army led by Afranius. I think Afranius and Petreius. I don't know. Maybe Afranius outranked Petreius. I think this was legates, both of them. But it says Afranius here, so maybe Afranius is of higher rank. I'm not sure. They get 5 command cards and they move first. So they got the first chance, you know, to advance towards the hillock probably. Caesarian army led by Caesar, of course, and they have 6 command cards. We'll fight till 7 banners, so a pretty big battle actually in terms of banners. So the special rules then. The city walls of Ilerda, rampart hexes, as you can see here. I have taken, you know, these stone hexes, stone wall hexes that you get from, I think it is from the Spartan expansion to represent the city walls. So they are these scalable walls. So with some special rules, you know, you need to be adjacent to them to move into them. Also, if you move out from them, you need to stop on the adjacent hex. There's some, you know, if you attack a guy on those city walls, they kind of have an intrinsic first strike up there. So they would roll their dice first, and they can ignore one sword symbol and 1 flag. Also for range combat, they can ignore 1 flag. Cavalry cannot move there or retreat or evade through those hexes. So yeah, there are some special rules about that. The Rebus Coris is impossible, so no movement there. Strangely enough, the breach is not there. I think it would be maybe this hex. I saw a map, so it could be like that. I mean, if this is the city of Ilerda, maybe these 4 hexes here. So maybe this should be the breach then. But I mean, for this battle, it's not important. The Julian Legion's rule is in effect for both armies. And a quick repeat of that. Medium and heavy infantry can go 2 hexes, and they can throw pila. They have the 1 die ranged capability. We have also the Julius Caesar rule in effect. Caesar is here, meaning a unit attached to him, the battle in close combat with 1 additional die, and these guys can move 2 hexes and battle, because these guys can move 2 hexes, but they cannot battle if they move 2. Then we have the camp things here. When a unit occupies an enemy camp, at the start of the player turn, remove the camp terrain tile hex. When both enemy camp hexes are removed, collect 1 victory banner. So both sides have 2 camp hexes, and if both are removed, the other side gets a victory banner for it. And the last thing here. When more of Caesar units occupy the hillock in the center section, then his opponent collect 1 victory banner. So if Caesar has more troops here than the other side, they get the victory banner directly. It doesn't say even at the start of the turn, but instantly. So that's it. So Caesar's gang has 1 more card, so we have dealt 1 more in slot A, of course, as we used to. Let's see now. I'm gonna draw back the map a bit. Getting a bit closer here. Something like that. And we're pretty much ready to start. And, well, a quick word of some tactics first. So, well, if we talk about, well, both sides are of course interested in this hillock. Caesars get the victory banner for it, so they're gonna want to have it. And the Pompeians want, of course, to prevent these guys to get an easy victory banner. So both sides gonna try to take control of that. As the Caesarian player, I don't think I'm too interested in going towards Ilerda, because that's difficult terrain to fight. And there's no victory banners or anything over there, I mean, from the city itself, so I don't see any reason to go there. So I'm not gonna move any troops there, at least not in the first place. We're gonna concentrate about this hillock and the battle about it, and try to hit some just kill off these guys. The troops are though pretty even. We have, well, these guys have four heavy infantry, and Caesar's side have 6. So of course that's a difference. On the other hand, Pompeians have 1 more medium heavy, but I think in numbers we are evenly matched. So even both sides have 2 cavalry units, so it's really even. So I don't think there's too much of plans other than that. Try to win the battle of the hillock, pretty much. But let's take a short look of the armies before we start, though. So if you start with the Pompeians, on their right hand side, they have in the front they have a bow unit, auxilia. Then they have 3 heavies with 2 leaders. I think one of these is, hold on, yeah, this is Petreius, and this is an unnamed one. Afranius is over there with a heavy. But as said, we have 3 heavies and 1 medium heavy up front. Then we have a second line and 2 units in the camp, medium heavies. We have the cavalry on the right hand wing. Then we have 2 more mediums and the heavy with Afranius here. Here we have another bow unit and an auxilia defending the city itself. Those might come out from the city if we see that Caesar is not interested in that. Then we have the Caesarian side, so we have a slinger unit here, probably Balearic slingers that Caesar has recruited. We have medium heavies, we have 2 heavies here and another medium heavy, and I think the guy up front is an unnamed leader. Yes, because Fabius is here. And Fabius' line here is consisted of auxilia, 2 heavies, a medium heavy, and another auxilia next to the camp. Then we have Caesar's troops here. We have 2 heavies, medium heavy, and 2 medium heavy cavalry. That's it. And if I count this right, both sides actually have 15 units. So pretty even in numbers. A bit better quality here on the Caesarian side. And they of course have Caesar with his special abilities, so they're kind of a bit stronger by that. On the other hand, these guys have a closer approach to the hillock, so they're probably going to get control of that first. But it all depends on the cards, of course. But I think we by that are ready to start the game, and the Pompeians start. So let's see what they have in slot A and B first. It's a bit... I want to change the lighting a bit here so it's easier to see maybe. 2 in the center, and slot B is a first strike right away. Okay, let's put it there so we remember it. And instead they get the 3 units left. That's over there. Let's see what they can play. That's an tactic card or lowest order count. So lowest order count would be, they have no tactic cards, so it would be the lowest order count, and it's 2 units in the center. So I think two unit center. Let's bring up these 2. I'm going to march 2 hexes forward, securing the left-hand flank a bit, and making sure if Caesarians start to approach, they can get attacked right away. That's it. Caesar. Same result over there. By the way, we haven't checked what they have yet. I am Spartacus. Good cards on both sides. They have this one, and those guys get the first strike. Ion Spartacus, 2 right or a mounted charge. So I won't play the Spartacus yet, of course. Mounted charge, nope. But 2 here, yes, that would be, of course, of interest. So that's 2 right then. So let's take these 2 infantry units. And I'm gonna march here and here. Like that. Okay, go back to Pompeius. He got an A or B. Let's check what we have in A. Line command, that's good. And then 3 left. I'm gonna do the line command now. I'm gonna go up towards the hill now. Let me just arrange these a bit. Okay. Line command it is, and it's the whole bunch. But now we can only go 1 hex, of course. But I will go here. Meaning we can throw some pila here. These guys will... Oh, clumsy fingers. I'm gonna throw some pila here as well. These guys will also go kind of oblique in that direction. And we're gonna march out from the camp as well. So now we are starting to take control of that hillock, really close to it. We are on the almost in the reverse slope there, you could say. Then we're gonna throw some pila against. Let's start from here against that unit with 1 die. That's a miss. But let's take these guys with the leader. Nope. Also a miss. But the first pila is thrown now, marking the start of the battle. Okay, replace the card and go back to Caesar. He would also get an A or a B. Spartacus counterattack, which would be a line command or a mounted charge. Well, I'm not going to play the mounted charge. I'm not going to play the Spartacus, so it has to be a counter attack, which is a line command, which is not bad at all. We could start off the battle right away. I think we're going to do that. So let's see now. Too bad Caesar's guys are not connected, so they cannot do it. But these guys will move in for the attack. Let's mark them so we remember that we're going to attack. Let's give them some support with the heavies. And here. And these guys are also kind of oblique marching towards that gravity point here, right? Hold on now. I didn't move these guys forward yet. Nope. Something like that. These guys can actually fire with 1 die. That's it, I believe. So let's see if we can scare away those. No, let's fire against those heavies there instead. So it's 1 die. That's a miss. We should have fired against those guys and would have gotten a hit. Okay, now let's hit some legionaries. I'm gonna start here with a leader. I would like to start with these guys, but if these guys retreat, these guys can only throw pila, and I want to attack with them. So I'm gonna start from here, just to make sure if these guys retreat, they still can attack here. So these guys with this nameless leader will attack these legionaries. Now we have a first strike. So we're gonna see if they're gonna play it, and if you remember my house rule about activating the first strike, I'll roll 1 die, and if that die would affect these guys in any way by forcing them to retreat or getting a hit, that triggers the card. Otherwise, I won't play it for this battle. So that would be a a flag, which is not triggering these guys because they can ignore the flag. So Pompeius is still Pompeius' side is still holding to the first Reich and are taking the brunt of the attack of these legionaries here. So that's 4 dice, and well, we have leader support, but nothing else. So that would be 2 hits and a flag. They can ignore the flag since they are supported, but take 2 hits, and they're gonna stand their ground, even though they could be eliminated in the next attack. But let's see what the battle back does first. And we have also leader support. So that would be, oh, bad roll by the Pompeian legionaries. That's 0 hits and a flag, which they can ignore. Oh, that was bad. I was hoping for some hits there for sure for Pompeius' side, but nothing. So these guys try to finish those guys off. Let's see if that would trigger the first strike now. Yeah, this result would affect these guys. I mean, that's a hit. So now Afranius player plays his first strike. These guys will battle first. 4 dice. But they have a bit unluck with the rolls, to be honest. That's only 1 hit. Those guys, and then they do their attack with 4 dice and leader support. But that's only 1 hit. They weren't killed yet. And the flag, which I will take now. I could follow here, but I don't want to get into that hex, I believe, or do I? Hold on, it's our... No, it's their turn next, of course. No, they're gonna just eliminate me there, so I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay here, and I think that's it. We have done everything, yep. So we place the card, and it's Pompeius or Afranius. Tactics card or lowest order count. Well, they have only 1 card up, and I think that means we can flip over 1 more. Let's take slot A. No tactics card, so it needs to be, well, one of these 2, because both are activating 3 units. So 3 in the center or 3 on the left, which would be over there, which is not bad. It would be these guys. If we take center, let's take center anyway. So 3 units center. I'm gonna order this cluster of units. The mediums will advance. These guys as well. And, no, hold on. This was... Yeah, this needs to go here, I guess. And these guys will take the ground here. Yep. Okay, so now the bad thing is these guys don't have the leader support, which would have been nice, but we don't have it. So let's start from here. I'm gonna attack that crippled unit there with 4 dice and leader support. So that is 2 hits and a flag. 2 hits. They could take the flag, or they could stay and battle back. It's our turn next time, and they have nothing more to hit me here, so I'm gonna stay and battle back. Because we also have leader support here. Thanks to that, we got 2 hits. These guys, this is a real bloody battle right from the start, right? 2 hits and a flag. They can ignore it, they are supported. So we are seeing a lot of depleted units over here. Then we have this attack. Should we do it? We will roll 3 dice. They can only roll 2 dice uphill. But they have leaders, we don't. But still, we have the 3rd dice here. Let's do the attack. 3 dice downwards. That's... hold on, these are mediums. That's 1 hit and a flag. But we're gonna check that leader though. he's good, so they're gonna roll 2 dice in their uphill battle. Thanks to the leader, they got 1 hit. So an exchange there. I think that was pretty logic to get an exchange over there. That's it. It's Caesar's gang again. Okay, a DRE this time. A coordinated attack. Or else another coordinated attack. Okay. I think I play the coordinated attack then. Hold on. What should we do? Let's play the card from slot E. I now need to move back these guys, and I'm gonna move up these guys to the front. And on this flank then. We could just fire with 2 dice against these guys, for instance. Or we could move up more troops. I could move up these guys to the foot of the hill, but I don't like the break in the line that happens because of that. And we should keep some guys in reserve here in case these guys are coming this way. We need some troops here to prevent that from happening. So I actually opt to fire with the slingers this time on that flank. So let's start with that. That's 2 dice against these heavies, led by the unnamed leader on the Pompeian side. A flag. They don't care about that. Oh, I should have moved first. So these guys are moving here, and these guys march in. So I'm now going to try to hold on. Who should we attack? We could get a nice blow against those guys, or kill that guys to get the gap there. But you know what? I'm going to attack these heavies. We both have leader support, but I roll first. So that's 3 hits and a flag. Wow. Heavy blow. And we need to check Afranius actually. There's a flag, but they can ignore it anyway because they are supported. I mean, even if Afranius would be a casualty here, which he isn't, but he can take the flag if he wants to. But it's their turn next, so I think they will ignore that and battle back with 5. They want to revenge that hit. So we got 1, 2, 3 hits there as well. Good roll. So these, I mean, this is like a 2 heavyweight boxers, right? Fighting with heavy blows at both sides. So, oh man. I mean, look at the carnage. No victory banners dealt, but look at the state of many of the troops here. They are depleted right away. Yeah, that's what happened. Both heavy, I mean, these veteran infantry troops in one block state here. I mean, imagine if one of these guys could pull up a rally card now. That would be great. Let's see now. I think I actually might take a break here. This is so intense. But, well, what to say? I imagined it would be, I mean, they started a few paces from each other, but we still see these heavy clashes. It's because this Julian rule, right? They can move 2 hexes, so legionaries can advance towards each other pretty fast. So that's why we're seeing already, after I think 3 turns or something, heavy blows already to both sides. And I'm sure we're gonna see maybe the ending of this in the next part already, because all these guys are so deadly. But, well, what to say? Good action from the start. We it's hard to say who has the upper hand. I mean, we have one block unit here and here. Same here. Here we are one down to 2, and these guys down to 3. Here we also have a heavy with 1 hit. So of course the Pompeians had taken a bit more casualties, but well, this is still very open as a battle. So let's see how this continues. I think I might also start getting out those troops from Ilerda to participate on this flank to get some reinforcements, because we have these cluster. I mean, then we have another cluster of units here with the other guy, Petreius, him, and they are kind of more devoted to fight on this side of the hill. So the reinforcements these guys would need is from Ilerda itself, I believe. And let's see if Caesar can move up his heavies here and the cavalry, and also, I mean, Fabius and his legionaries should also be engaging soon, I believe. But let's see how this goes. But we're still in 0 victory banners dealt. Yeah, I think that's all for this session. So thank you guys for watching, and hope you will be back for part 2 of the Battle of Ilerda 49 BC. Bye for now.